All right, Jakari Walker.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Jakari Walker, May 12, 2001.
Thank you. The court appoints the public defender to represent you, and sir, you're here on one count of criminal mischief. Based on the affidavit, the court does find probable cause and sets bond at $500. The court also notes that at the time of the new law violation, you have the following cases: 2023 CF 320 and 2023 CF 746. If I can have Ms. Henderson, is there bond set in either one of those cases?
Your Honor, I don't have that information in front of me right now. I can get it for you though.
Okay, thank you. Does the state have a position with respect to the two pending cases?
In regards to the bond amount, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
If I can just have a moment to confer, because I just reviewed the charges
Yes, ma'am.
and it's for second-degree murder, so I'm just gonna verify.
Okay.
When? Your Honor. According to the police, revoke the bonds on this case. I didn't hear this case. It was reset. Huh? He had another case. The two cases. I'm not sure. She's gonna check for you.
Okay, I don't think that's correct, but I appreciate you looking.
This case number is 242537. Oh, I need to go.
It looks like in both of the related cases, it was that for plea on the 11th, which would have to be reset in light of the hurricane closure. Yeah.
Maybe you're remembering another case. Okay. Let me check our system to see if we have the previous bonds.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
state will be asking for Your Honor to revoke the bond in case number 2023 CF 746, as he has committed a new law offense.
And what about 2023 CF 320?
One moment here. Same, Your Honor, to revoke the bond.
All right. The court will revoke the bonds that are currently set in 2023 CF 320 and in case 2023 CF 746 in light of the new law violation.
Revoke and set it to 0, Your Honor.
Yes, revoke and set it to 0.
Understood.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to bother you again. The jail has one more request. They would like to know if Spanish could go last. We have about 4 Spanish speakers and it's a pretty full house.
I only have 2. So if you have 4 and you can give those names to the court or the case numbers, that would be helpful. But yes, we can certainly do that.
All right, would you like me to read the 4 that I have now, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, the first one on the list is Albert Amador.
Okay.
Then I have LaSalle Phoebus, about midway down.
What's that last name?
Phoebus, LaSalle Phoebus, F-E-B-U-S.
Okay, thank you.
And then I have Paredes Canelon, Jose.
I have that one, and I also have Nieves Quintero.
He bonded, is that correct? That's the one. He bonded.
Yes. Okay.
Then I have Jose Paz,
Spell the last name for me, please.
P-A-Z.
Okay. Is
And
that
then
it?
one more, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I have Riviera Ruiz, the last one on the first page.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So we just need to pull those out. You can remind me, Madam Clerk, if they to them and they need a Spanish interpreter. I don't know if we've got all those for.
I'm getting them right now. So
Thank you.
sorry, I'm gonna have to ask.
All right. James D'Agostino.
Do this. James D'Agostino. PD was denied due to income out of county.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
James Del D'Agostino, 112363, ma'am.
Thank you. You've been picked up on an Ada County warrant out of Monroe County for violation of probation, and there is no bond on that. We'll let them know when you're ready for pickup. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Cody ID?
An application to the public defender's office out of county.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Cody Ide, 1984.
Thank you. And you've been picked up on an Ada County warrant out of Sumter County. The bond is currently set at $5,000 and we'll let them know when you're ready for pickup.
Fine.
Thank you. Robert Bauer.
PD approved.
He refused, Your Honor.
Reason for the refusal?
He's detoxing, Your Honor.
Okay, then this will be reset until he's available.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Michael Camby?
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Name and date of birth, sir?
My name is Michael Camby, April the 6th, 1971.
All right, sir, you have, the court is appointing the public defender to represent you. You are here on a bench warrant issued by Judge O'Brien for a failure to appear, and the bond is currently set at $2,000, which is where it will remain. Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Camby says that he was never given a citation or a notice to appear. Is there a way that the clerk can look that up in benchmark to verify that?
Well, we're not going to be dealing with that at this time at IAs, but it can be certainly addressed in front of the trial judge.
You could give the next court dates though.
Next court date?
Next court date will be October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be December 18th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Thank you. Gordon Gutierrez Champion?
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Name and date of birth, sir?
Jordan Gutierrez, champion, 22297.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Sir, there's been a bench warrant issued by Judge Karsten with respect to a failure to appear at a pretrial. The bond will remain at $5,000. Thank you.
Next court date, November 19th, 9 a.m. Courtroom 4F.
Shouldn't there be two? For his judge trial. Who was he? Yes. Give me one moment and I'll tell you right now.
Sherry Isbell?
No application to the public defender's office.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth?
Sherry Isbell, 12/28/77.
Thank you. Court is provisionally appointing the public defender to represent you for this hearing. If you'd like their services beyond this hearing, you'll have to complete an application for that. You're here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Lattimore for a failure to appear at a competency hearing, and there is no bond for that, ma'am.
Actually, Judge Lattimore, is the one who released me on ROR on the 8th of October. And she asked that you guys rescind the, order for me to be picked up by Osceola County. But yet I'm still here. I was, issued that warrant when I was in custody in Orange County, and they, dropped the charges so that I could go to Park Place to, continue my treatment. And, she just said it with condition. So she's the one who wanted me home. And I don't know how I ended up here with no bond, but if you could, for conditional release or some way that, because I'm on income, I'd appreciate that.
Thank you. One moment. When's the next court date?
Next court date will be October 22nd at 2:30 p.m. Courtroom 4D. And the next one after that would be November 19th, 2:30 p.m. Courtroom 4D.
Does the state have a position with respect to the request for a release?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you have a position with respect to the
No, Your Honor.
Comments by Ms. Isbell?
No, Your Honor, from what I understand, we're not representing her, but I would ask, as a friend of the court, that she possibly be let out on R. She seems to have a mental health history, and it seems like the charges were dropped.
Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken, the KPS was issued due to the defendant's failure to appear.
Back in July, yes. But then it does appear that there was a hearing on October 8th. What I cannot tell is whether there was an appearance or not based on the review of the court file.
Yes, I
And
was,
Your Honor, if I may, she was in the state's custody in July when the failure to appear was issued.
All right, based on this court's review of the file, I am going to ROR Ms. Isbell. It does appear that there is a hearing coming up, though. Madam Clerk, the next hearing is October 22nd, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. At 2:30 PM.
All right. And that's in this courtroom. So you do have an appearance on October 22nd in the Osceola County Courthouse in courtroom 4D for a competency hearing.
yes, ma'am.
All right. So it's important that you attend that hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
nice day.
You as well. Okay. I have Baldney, LaSalle, Phoebus. I think this was one of the additional Spanish ones that you added on. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That one is James Medell.
PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
James Mydell, 22359.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on a bench warrant that was issued by Judge Dorn. Probable cause was determined for a failure to appear at an arraignment, and bond is set at $2,000 and will remain there. Thank you.
Next court date, October 24th, 8:30 AM, courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be November 20th, 8:30 AM, courtroom 4E.
Jose Paz? Is this all?
Yes.
Thank you. Spanish. Okay, I'm gonna,
They gave you a bond. They gave you a bond.
also Teddy Rivera Ruiz, I believe, Spanish.
Was? That was the one I didn't remember. There was one I didn't get.
I have a Teddy Rivera Ruiz. Counsel,
That's it.
Your Honor.
Spanish, Your Honor.
Spanish, thank you. I'll set him aside for the moment. Robert Thomas.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Robert Lee Thomas, Jr. My birthday is June 3rd, 1968.
Thank you. The court appoints the public defender to represent you. You're here on three separate cases, and the public defender is appointed in all three. The first is case 2022 CF 2435 with respect to a violation of probation. Probable cause has been determined, and there is no bond. The second case is 2022 CF 2631 with again, a violation of probation, and probable cause is determined, and there is no bond in that case. And the third is 2022 CF 2931. Again, violation of probation, probable cause has been determined, and there is no bond for that case. Thank you, sir.
Next court date for all three cases will be October 21st, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5A.
Taisheem Williams.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth?
Tasheen Williams, 2/2/1994.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Wilson for a failure to appear in arraignment. Court has determined probable cause, and there is no bond for that.
Your Honor, I actually have a court date coming up for next week, and they already have a plea deal for me. But I was just wondering if I can get R&R. I was locked up for that court date that I missed. I was in custody.
What, Madam Clerk, when is the next court date, please?
His next court date will be October 22nd at 10:30 a.m., courtroom 5F. And his next one after that will be October 29th at 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5F.
I am respectfully declining the request for ROR at this time in
My
light of the
mother-
court in front of me.
My
Thank you.
mother's fighting cancer, and I really just see one thing my kid. I was really in custody for that court date.
At this time, at IAs, I'm declining the request, but certainly a motion can be filed in front of the trial judge. Thank you. Andres Albert Amador.
I believe he is Spanish, Your Honor. Salvador.
Oh, yes, I do. Is that Spanish, counsel?
Sorry, what was the name?
Yes.
Yes.
Andres Albert Amador?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
I think
thank
should be
you.
next.
And Tyven Cuevas Garcia?
PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Tavian Cuevas, October 9th, 1997.
Thank you. Board appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on 3 counts. The first is possession of a controlled substance, specifically fentanyl. The second is possession of drug paraphernalia, and the third is resisting arrest without violence. Court does find probable cause for all 3 and stays bond for count 1 at $2,500, sets bond for count 2 at $100, and for count 3 at $250, for a total aggregate of $2,850, with the following condition: that you not possess, use, or sell any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Larry Davis?
PD approved.
Davis.
Larry Davis? Your Honor, he's not present. Could we push him to the back? They're gonna try to retrieve him, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Jody Douglas?
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Jody Ann Douglas, date of birth January 1st, 1979.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Ma'am, you're here on 1 count of criminal mischief from a value of $200 to $1,000. The court does find probable cause for that and sets bond at $500. One moment. Does the state have a position with respect to bond conditions?
Your Honor, state would ask for no contact with the victim and no return.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not a domestic violence issue, and I think that a no return would be extremely harsh on the defendant. She did break her roommate's camera, but in order for her not to return home and not to have somewhere to stay, seems extreme. Maybe we could request a no hostile contact.
Your Honor,
One moment, please. Does pretrial release, can I get a, history?
Yes, Your Honor. Defendant has no criminal history in Florida. She has one DUI in Colorado. The disposition unknown. And that was in 2018.
I'm sorry, what was the date for that?
2018.
2018, thank you, ma'am. The condition of release will be no hostile contact with the victim.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You said no contact.
No hostile contact.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Gondola,
PD approved.
talk over you. Did you say on demand? Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Good afternoon. My name is John Gondola. My birthday is 12/9/1952.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on one count of driving under the influence. Court does find probable cause and sets bond at 1,000 with the following condition: that you not use any alcohol or controlled substance without a valid prescription. Thank you.
Next court date will be October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond, will be November 21st, 9:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Eladio Jimenez Martin.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth?
Good afternoon. Eladio Jimenez Marin, 4/13/1980.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you. So you're here on one count of domestic violence battery. And the court does find probable cause based on the affidavit. And the court is setting bond at $100 with the following conditions. Until further order of this court, you are not to have any contact with the victim, Rosemary Morales, and not to return to the address, but the court is granting a one-time return with the assistance of law enforcement to 1701 Mabet Street, Unit 10207. Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Dennis Lindholm.
PD approved.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Dennis Jason Lindholm, 4/13/74.
Can you say that for me one more time? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Dennis Jason Lindholm, 4/13/74.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on one count of petty theft with a third or subsequent offense. And the court does find probable cause based on the affidavit and stays bond for the charge at $2,500 with the following conditions: that you not return to the scene, the 7-Eleven at 5085 West Erlo Bronson, and that you have no contact with the victim or any witness.
Yep. Your Honor, if I may, I would just say that I didn't see the 2 prior convictions listed in the arrest affidavit.
Okay, does the state have a position on that?
That's correct, Your Honor. There was not a case number provided for the 8 prior petty thefts.
Okay, I'm gonna do a, grant the state 24 hours to supplement, and this will be reset for tomorrow then. So we're gonna reset this for tomorrow's IA, and the state is granted 24 hours to supplement. At this time, I'm not making a determination on PC.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Adele Maniour.
PD denied due to income.
Your Honor, the defendant qualifies for direct pretrial release.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth? I can't hear you. I don't know if the microphone is not turned on.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir.
Adele Manor, 32181.
All right, sir. You are entitled to counsel, but your application for the public defender services has been denied due to income, so you'll have to obtain counsel from your own funds. You're here on 2 charges. The first is grand theft auto. That's in case 24 CF 3224. And the second case is 24 CT 4862, which is a charge of operating a vehicle without a valid driver's license. And the court does find probable cause for both charges. The court is ordering pretrial release. With a monetary bond on both counts at 100 for a total of 200. Conditions as to the first case, which is 24 CF 3224, is no contact with the victim, Cynthia Walters. And the condition as to the second case is no driving without a valid driver's license. Thank you.
Next court date, October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond, will be November 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
Marilyn Perez.
PD approved.
Your Honor, the defendant qualifies for direct pretrial release.
Thank you, ma'am. Your name, ma'am, and date of birth?
Marilyn Trace Perez, 1956.
Court appoints a public defender to represent you. Ma'am, you're here on 1 count of petty theft. The court does find probable cause for the charge and is ordering direct pretrial release with the following condition: that you not return to the target at 4795 West Erlo Bronson. Thank you.
Thanks.
Charles Southall.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Charles Southall, 4279.
And Your Honor, we'd be requesting that you waive the reading of the charges, please.
All right, sir. The court is appointing the public defender to represent you, and counsel is requesting that the court does not read the charges. Do you understand fully the reasons why you're here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You're here on 4 separate charges. The court is finding probable cause as to all 4 based on the affidavit and sets bond for each count at $750 for a total aggregate bond of $3,000 with the following condition: that upon your release, you will comply with all requirements under Florida statute 943.0435 regarding registration and compliance. And that will be done within 48 hours of your release. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Jeremy Wolf.
PD approved.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Jeremy Wolf, 6/2005.
All right, sir, the court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on 1 count of domestic violence battery. Court does find probable cause for the charge and sets bond at $1,000 with the following conditions: that you have no contact with the victim, Valentina Rivera, or the child, Nevaeh,
Yes, ma'am.
and that you maintain separate residences, and that you not possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, may he have a one-time return with law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am. One-time return with law enforcement is
Ma'am,
granted.
we live at different houses.
Oh, never mind, Your Honor. Thank you.
I live at
All right.
1338 Dover Drive.
Thank you. Okay, I have a Walter McKenzie.
Your application found to the PD's office.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Good afternoon, Walter McKenzie, December 1989.
Can you say your date of birth, please, one more time?
December 28th, 1989.
Thank you. Court, did you say there was no application? All right, the court is provisionally appointing the public defender to represent you at this hearing, sir, but if you would like their continued services on this hearing, you'll need to complete an application for that. All right. This was reset just as to the second charge only for a supplement, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, and the state will be conceding that there's no PC for the refusal.
Okay. Okay, so the court is finding no probable cause as to count 2, the refusal to submit to the testing. And the court will ROR on as to count 2. Thank you. Oh, hold on. Court also notes that at the time of the new law violations, you were on pretrial release in case number 24 CF1058. I think that's the right case number. Let me just verify. Currently out.
Your Honor, if I may, on that charge that he's out on pretrial release on, has the state filed on that on those charges? I don't have access to a computer, so that's why I'm asking, just to figure something out.
Can you give me that information?
I'm double checking.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
The case number that I heard, if I'm not mistaken, was 24 CF1058.
Okay.
Under that case number, it's coming up under a different offense.
Pero no lo hiciste. No lo tienes. Pero ya estoy. No tenías el primero tampoco. Nunca abriste el cargo. No sé por qué no te mandaron. Pero no. Chequea a casa. Ok. Ya.
I don't have any information regarding another case that's. Do you? Ms. Diaz?
I do see a aggravated plea,
What's the case number on that?
24 CF 10588.
Is that out of Orange County?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what is the status of that case if you have it?
1 moment. So he was released on condition of release. I don't see that the state has filed any charges on the case.
And what was the date of filing the charges?
No, I don't see that.
I'm sorry, what was the date of arrest?
It was on August 4th of 2024.
Okay.
Your Honor, from what I understand, it wasn't filed on, and this was from August. So the 33 days, the normal 33 days has passed.
So the court is taking no action on case 24 CF 10588 out of Orange.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next court date will be October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond, will be November 15th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
And Larry Davis?
PD approved.
He's still not here, Your Honor. They're going to get him right now, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just a paperwork record.
Good afternoon, this is Lorena Jimenez, Spanish interpreter,
Good afternoon, Ms. Jimenez. This is
previously sworn.
Can you hear me, ma'am? This is Judge Darenthal in initial
Hello.
appearances.
I'm sorry, I cannot.
Can you hear me now?
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me? Ms. Jimenez, can you hear the court? I don't think it's an IT issue. I think it's an issue on their line, but go ahead and reach out. I'm gonna try her.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter and previously sworn.
Good afternoon, Ms. Rice. Can you hear me? This is Judge Darenthal.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Wonderful. We're all set. Thank you. We're in initial appearances. Jose Paredes Canelon.
Jose Paredes. PD approved.
Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Señor, su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
23 de julio de
And your name?
I'm sorry, he got cut off, Your Honor. 23 de julio de qué año?
de 2000.
July 23rd, 2000.
And your name, sir.
Su nombre, señor?
José Francisco Paredes Canelón.
Jose Francisco Paredes Canelón.
The court appoints the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Dorn for your failure to appear Probable cause has been determined.
Señor, se le designa defensor público para asistirle a usted y usted se encuentra aquí debido a una orden de detención que emitió la juez Dorn por su falta de comparecencia. Se ha determinado que existen indicios racionales.
And your bond is 2,000. Next court date?
Next court date, October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond, November 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
Se fija la fianza en $2,000. La próxima vista será el 24 de octubre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E. Sin embargo, si sale bajo fianza, entonces será el 20 de noviembre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Sorry. ¿Qué día me dijo? Disculpe, ¿qué día?
What were the dates that you said?
October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E, and November 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
24 de octubre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E y 20 de noviembre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E.
Thank you. Gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Lana,
Madam, may the interpreter have the case number, please?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Case number is 24CT3759.
Thank you.
Lanis Nieves Quintero? Did you say he bonded?
Oh, no, not like that. Can you say that again, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
Yes, Lanis Nieves Quintero. I think he bonded.
That's correct.
Yes, he did. Yes, Your Honor,
Okay.
sorry.
Thank you. Baldney LaSalle Fabus.
No application found to the PD's office.
Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes. Diga su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Baldney LaSalle Febus, 4 de junio de 1991.
¿90 y qué?
91.
Vanes LaSalle Perez, June 4, 1991.
Thank you. Court appoints the public defender to represent you for this hearing.
Muy bien. Requisitos de la audiencia de hoy se le designa defensor público.
If you would like their services beyond this hearing, you will need to complete an application for that.
Si desea recibir los servicios de ellos después de la audiencia de hoy, tendrá que llenar el affidavit para ello.
You're here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Karsten for a violation of probation. Probable cause has been determined and there is no bond for that.
Usted se encuentra aquí debido a una orden de arresto que emitió el juez Carter por incumplimiento de la libertad vigilada. Se ha determinado que existen indicios racionales de criminalidad y se impone prisión preventiva.
Next court date will be October 30th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4F.
La próxima vista será el 30 de octubre a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4F.
And the case number was 23CF1618.
Thank you.
Jose Paz.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes. Su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento.
José Adalberto Paz, 3 de agosto de 1973.
José Alberto Vaz, August the 3rd, 1973.
Thank you. Court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Dorn for your failure to appear.
Muy bien, se le designa defensor público para asistirle a usted. Se encuentra aquí debido a una orden de arresto que emitió la juez Dorn por su falta de comparecencia.
Your bond will remain at $2,000.
Se mantiene la fianza en $2,000.
Y esa cita yo asistí.
No habla español.
I did appear at that court date.
Yo asistí a esa cita con la primera corte. Yo fui.
I did appear at that court appearance. I was there at my first court date.
Ahí está el registro en la corte de las grabaciones donde yo estuve ahí y la juez me informó que tenía que llenar mi correo electrónico y que esperar información en mi casa.
They should have a recording of my appearance there, and the judge informed me to give her my email and that I would be receiving the information via email.
I appreciate that. I have a bench warrant, so for the purposes of today, I am not changing the bond. You can take it up by filing a motion with the trial judge as needed.
Agradezco lo que me está indicando, pero para propósitos de hoy no voy a cambiar la fianza. Ese argumento lo tendrá que usted que plantear con un pedimento a la juez de ese caso.
Next court date will be October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be November 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. And the case number is 24CT4294.
La próxima vista será el 24 de octubre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E. Si sale bajo fianza, entonces será el 20 de noviembre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E.
Thank you. Teddy Rivera Ruiz.
PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Teddy Rivera Ruiz, el 15 de octubre del 79.
Teddy Rivera Ruiz, October the 15th, 79.
Happy birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The court appoints a public defender to represent you.
Se le designa defensor público para asistirle a usted.
And you're here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Dorn for your failure to appear at an arraignment.
Se encuentra usted aquí debido a por una orden de arresto que emitió la juez Dorn debido a su falta de comparecencia el día de la vista incoatoria.
Probable cause has been determined and your bond will remain set at $2,000.
Se determina que existen indicios racionales de criminalidad y se fija la fianza en $2,000.
Next court date will be October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be November 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. And the case number is 24CT4290.
La próxima vista será el 24 de octubre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E. Si sale bajo fianza, entonces será el 20 de noviembre a las 8:30 en la sala 4E.
Thank you. Andres Albert Amador.
PD approved.
Your name and date of birth, sir?
Su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, señor.
Andrés Albert Amador, 2 de febrero del 78.
72.
78.
8. Andres Albert Amador, February the 2nd, 78.
The court appoints a public defender to represent you. You're here on one count of a violation of a domestic violence injunction. Go ahead.
Se le designa defensor público para asistirle a usted. Se encuentra usted aquí por un cargo de incumplir la orden de alejamiento en un caso de violencia doméstica.
Court sets bond at $1,000
Se fija fianza en $1,000.
with the condition that you possess no weapons or firearms.
Habrá la condición que usted está prohibido la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma de fuego o arma alguna.
And that you have no contact with the victim, Maria Vera Zambrano.
Y que esté prohibido tener ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima María Vera Zambrano.
And that you not return. One moment. That you not return to 316 Poinciana Circle, Kissimmee, Florida.
Y que esté prohibido usted regresar al 316 Poinciana Circle, Kissimmee, Florida.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
pre-trial release did speak with the victim, and she said that she left the residence.
Su señoría, el personal de la libertad provisional se comunicó con la víctima y ella indicó que se ha ido de esa residencia.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, state would also be requesting for no drugs or alcohol.
I'm sorry, the interpreter could not hear the state.
State will be requesting for no drugs or alcohol.
Su señoría, la fiscalía también solicita la prohibición de droga o alcohol.
One moment. Does the state have a position regarding the court's condition for no return?
¿La fiscalía tiene alguna postura con respecto a la condición que impone este juzgado de prohibición al lugar de los hechos?
Your Honor, I did speak with the victim and she did inform me that she no longer resides with the defendant, but she does reside where the offense took place.
Su señoría, yo hablé con la víctima, indicó que ya no convive con el acusado, pero sí sigue viviendo en ese lugar.
So state would just ask for no return to where the offense occurred.
Por lo tanto, la fiscalía solicita que esté prohibido poder regresar al lugar de los hechos.
Okay. The court is adding the condition that you not use any alcohol or controlled substance without a valid prescription. And you are not to have any contact whatsoever with the victim. That means no in-person, no phone, no social media, or contact through a third party. Do you understand?
Entonces se va a agregar una condición adicional que usted esté prohibido la tenencia y consumo de alcohol o sustancias reguladas sin receta médica, que esté prohibido tener ningún tipo de contacto en absoluto con la víctima, lo cual significa ni en persona, ni por teléfono, ni a través de medios sociales, ni por un tercero. ¿Entendido?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you. Next court date?
On demand.
La próxima vista será por señalamiento judicial.
Case number,
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, for the record, will there be a no return for the defendant?
Su señoría, para que conste en actas, ¿estará prohibido el acusado poder regresar?
Yes, no return.
Sí, prohibido regresar a la vivienda.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Gracias, su señoría.
case number 24MM255, 45. 2545.
Larry Davis.
Yes, and then we have one after that we're requesting to recall after Mr. Davis. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Buenas tardes.
Larry Davis, 10/28/1965.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, do you still require the services of the interpreter?
No, we don't.
We don't. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We went out of order. But before I release the interpreter, the recall case, is that a Spanish case, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Then, Madam Interpreter, thank you. That completes our need for your services today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, sir. Did you say there was public defender approved? Okay. The court appoints the public defender. You're here in 3 separate cases. The court appoints public defender for all 3. In 24 CT 4860 and 24 CT 4863, there is 1 count of driving under the influence with damage to property, and another count of driving under the influence with a blood alcohol level of 0.008 or more. The court, after review of the affidavit, does find probable cause for both and sets bond for each at $1,000 for an aggregate bond of $2,000, with the condition that you not use any alcohol or any controlled substance without a valid prescription. As to the third case, 24 CF 3225, there are two charges. The first is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. And the court does find probable cause and stays bond at $5,000 for that count. As to count 2, which is criminal mischief greater than $1,000, court also finds probable cause and sets bond for count 2 at $2,500 for a total aggregate in case number 3 of $7,500, with the following conditions: that you not possess any weapons or firearms, that you not have any contact with any witnesses or victims, that you not use any alcohol or any controlled substance without a valid prescription, and that you not return to the scene, the car wash. Thank you. Next court date?
For 24 CT 4863 and 24 CT 4860. Next court dates will be October 24th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond, will be November 21st, 9:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Which case is for the recall, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Adele Manier. Adele Manier.
One moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
So he's gonna be, he's in New Kings. He's in New Kings. He should have a job. I believe you.
I believe you. No, you're right. Okay.
Correct.
Here you go. Okay, the reason for the recall?
One second, sir. 1 second. Your Honor, there may be another recall too, but for the moment, the pretrial services has brought something to my attention about the defendant, and I just thought we should share it with the court and maybe readdress this case, Your Honor.
What is it? All right, recalling Adele Manuar?
Yes.
He was denied due to income.
This is PTR, Your Honor, Officer Ospina. I spoke to the victim this morning. They are in a relationship and reside together. She was kindly asking if at least they could get a no hostile. There were some issues with the hurricane, some past trauma, and I'm guessing that's why the incident occurred. She just wants him to be able to come back home and to have contact with her, otherwise he'd have nowhere to go.
All right, so counsel, is the request, what is the request?
It sounds like we would be requesting a no hostile contact and to allow him to return home.
Does the state have a position regarding the condition?
One moment, Your Honor. This is for O'Neill Manor?
No, this is for, yeah, Adele.
Oh, Adele Manor. Say would object, Your Honor.
Okay, the court is granting the request to modify the condition. This would be as to case 2024 CF 3224, the grand theft auto. And it will be no hostile contact with Cynthia Walters.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then pásame eso.
All right, does that conclude today's cases?
Your Honor, I normally don't do any recalls, but there's an individual named James Meadle who said he didn't get an opportunity to speak to you, and he wanted to give you more information. And so I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, what's the name?
James Meadle, Meidel.
James Victor.
From what I understand why you're looking for the case, Your Honor, Mr. Meadle, you did give him a bond of $2,000. He is the primary care provider for his mother who has Alzheimer's, and he is afraid that due to his health condition, he won't be able to afford that bond, and he won't be able to get out and take care of his elderly mother.
I believe this was a failure to appear. Let me look.
He's arrested, Your Honor.
For no valid driver's license, yes, Your Honor.
I'm declining to make that change. That can be brought in front of the trial. That bond was set by Judge Dorn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I do believe that concludes all the cases. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.